Good evening, FlossTube. Stacy here, as always. And I have been putting off this video. I know that it is arriving late, but I have been putting it off so that I could finish the last finish of the year of finishes 2021. Today is January 10th. I kept up my tree just for this video, or else it would probably be de-decorated by this point in time, but I kept it up so that I can make this video right in front of it. I have 3 finishes to show you tonight, and that will make a total of 10 finishes for the year of 2021, which I declared the year that I would not start anything new. I would only work on whips and try to get done with as many as I could in the year. So I'm counting the one that I just finished literally minutes before I turned this video on. I just finished it, and actually it's still on the frame, and I'll have to take it off of the frame in the video. And I am so excited to show them to you because these 3 finishes, or at least 2 of the 3, are bigger projects. The other finishes I had throughout the year I will go over real quick for you. Number 1 was the St. Nicholas Cathedral by Mill Hill Christmas Village Buttons and Beads. This was the last cross stitch on my 12-month town stitch along that I did in the year 2020, which I also did not finish on time. So I finished this one in the year 2021, and therefore I'm counting it as my first finish for the year. And the second finish of the year was this Let's Stay Home. This is a free pattern that I got during the quarantine of the coronavirus. You can Google Let's Stay Home cross stitch, and you can find this pattern on the blog and stitch that yourself if you like. Number 3 was, I think number 3, I don't remember what order they were. But let's say number 3 and 4 were the geishas. We have My and Elegant Geisha. Both of these are from Dimensions Cross Stitch, and I did stitch them on separate pieces of fabric. I just happened to frame them together in this one frame. You can find both of these patterns in production still right now as well, if you like these. The 5th one, I Drive a Stick. This is also by Mill Hill Buttons and Beads. This is the Autumn series, I believe is what they call it. Lots of beads going on in there. But this was number 5. Numero 6 was this church here. This is Dimensions Gold Collection Christmas Village ornament. I am not stitching them as ornaments. I'm stitching them down this piece of fabric as a bell pull. That was number 6. Number 7 was Overlook Cafe. This is Dimensions Gold Collection 5x7, which they call petites. You can find this pattern still. I think every pattern that you've seen so far on my first 7 finishes, you can find still. They are all in production. So Dimensions Gold Collection. Now to the 3 finishes that I haven't shown you yet. The first one that I did, I thought that I wasn't going to do it in time to put it as my tree skirt, but as promised in the last video from Mom, she did make it into a tree skirt in time for Christmas. In fact, we had maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks before Christmas finished this. But what it is, and this pattern is not in production anymore, you cannot find it. It's the Angels of Peace. Way back here, you can see it all. Let me come a little closer so you can see details. I had taken a poll on Instagram on whether or not to keep this penguin right here. The poll determined that yes, keep the penguin. And here's the center one. Let me think if I did any changes on this. I did a marriage of 2 of the red colors for one of the reds in the pattern because it looked so similar to the other red that was in the pattern. There's like 4 reds. 2 of them looked so close to each other you wouldn't have even been able to tell whenever I changed colors. Therefore, I took one of the others and mixed it with it so that it would look different. And that way you get more variation in their dresses. I did leave off. There was a star right here, and I left that off. I didn't stitch that. Okay. And Angels of Peace tree skirt by Dimensions. Mom finished it. We have this blue kind of, I don't know what this fabric is, but this blue fabric that matched pretty well. You can see the difference there. But to the eye and it being on the ground as the tree skirt, you don't really see the difference in color. The colors actually match very well. And then she lined it, or outlined it with this green. All right, so that's my tree skirt. Could wear it as a shawl. Anyway. Okay, so that's a big item there. My 9th finish was not a huge item. It was another one of the Christmas Village ornaments from Dimensions. The blue house. What did I change on this? I don't think I really changed anything on this one. A lot of the Dimensions patterns, I don't change very much on them. Most of the time, the threads are very true to color that is on the picture on the front of the cross-stitch kit. Most of the time, their threads are very true to color. Sometimes if they aren't, or I feel like that 2 colors are too similar, then I will switch it up a little bit. But most of the time, I would say 90% of the stuff on Dimensions cross stitch, I do not mess with. I keep it the exact same. So that was that one. So total I have 3. There are 6. And eventually I will have me a bow pull, and then I'll have a tree skirt, and then I'll have a stocking I'm working on. That's one of my whips that I didn't finish, but still I am going to finish that one. Stocking. My last one I'm going to have to take off the frame because I literally just finished stitching it. Sorry, the light is very bleaching. Okay, this one is different in many ways. It actually is a dimensions kit. It's an old one, but it is not counted cross stitch. This pattern is a needlepoint. Needlepoints have a lot of good, a lot of good positive things that I like about them. And they also have quite a few things that I don't like about them in comparison to counted cross stitch. Needlepoint are stitched, you can see on this type of, it's not a fabric, it's I don't know what you would call it. I'm sure that they have a name for it. Anyhow, I just took it off the frame, so it's gonna be a little wrinkly and folding in on itself. This is called Magnolia Serenade. Magnolia Serenade by Dimensions Needlepoint. And this is going to go along with another one that I have already finished years ago. Let me go grab it so I can show you. The one I just showed you is to go beside this one whenever they are framed. I finished this one years ago. Both of them are needlepoint. The difference with the needlepoint, well, some things that I like about needlepoint in comparison to cross stitch is it goes so much faster. It goes quick. Well, quick for something of this detail. Needlepoint is basically on a printed canvas, and you see over here to the side it has these colors and the numbers beside of them. So your print will have the picture on it, it will have these colors, and you also get a pattern that shows you what color is where, and you just go at it. I mean, they will give you kind of like a counted cross stitch type of pattern for the face and the hands. Very, very small details, so that way you get the eyes right, you get the colors in the right spot to make the shading on the face and things like that. But otherwise, this entire thing is just on a very simplistic pattern that you can kind of make your own blending between colors. You can decide as far as looking at the shape, okay, do I need to do, you know, one more stitch of this color, or is it good without it? Or, you know, you're kind of a little bit more engaged with your artistic side whenever you do a needlepoint, because not everything except for the very detailed areas are exact. This one has a lot of gold metallic. You can see up on her hairpiece, as well as on the purple area and this vase over here with the magnolias in it. Changes to this one. I did have a couple of very minor changes. One was this up here on her headdress. They wanted it to be cording, similar to this. And I thought it was more shiny and prettier and a little bit more detailed to not have the cording and just stitch it with the metallic thread. Another change that I did on this was it had, let me just show you a picture. It had these things down here on it, which not only does it kind of take away from the picture in whole, but I don't know what it says. And Lena Liu, I'm not gonna put Lena Liu's name on my cross stitch. Plus it's kind of out of place. Like, I get that it's part of the picture in general, but this isn't just floating there in the air beside of her. You know, so I took that off. This I put on there, but I have, again, no idea what it says. If anybody knows what it says, then let me know. If it's something that's horrible, you know, then I will take it out. But otherwise, I did put that in there. And then the third thing that I changed on it was they wanted the harp strings to be white, and I really couldn't see them very good, so I changed them to be brown. Otherwise, this is the last finish of 2021, the year of finishes. I have 10 out of 25. And I think that's pretty good for spending a year on it. And I just ripped that pattern right in half. Like I said, this was very old. So it had a lot of wear and tear before I even picked it back up to try to finish stitching it. Well, there you go. Just so you have an idea, this is what a pattern looks like for a needlepoint, and I colored some of the areas to make them more noticeable to my eye whenever I was stitching on it. And the reason that it's faster than counted cross stitch is because you aren't having to look at the pattern. Look at your, okay, 4 stitches. Look at the pattern. Look at your stitching. Okay, now 3 down. You know, so it's a lot faster because it's like, oh, I'm just going to fill in this whole area. And also it's not crosses. It's just like a half cross stitch. It's just 1 stitch across. That's all it is. The back is a little different. The way that they have you stitch it is so that the holes of this aren't showing very easily. So they have you stitch it kind of in a diagonal. Do these look good together? I think so. They're both needlepoint, they're both geishas. I think they'll look fine framed and put together. After the year of finishes, 2021, this is maybe not the greatest thing to say, but I'm excited to start something new. And I know that I did the year of finishes so that I could get rid of some of my whips and be done with some of the projects, but after a year of working on the same things and looking at the same things, deciding which ones I want to do. I'm excited to start something that is my choice. I have a huge stash of things that are new that haven't had one stitch put to them yet, and I'm gonna pick something from that stash and I'm gonna go for it. Well, thank you so much for watching. Like I said, I know that this video is late, but I was finishing one literally minutes before I started this video, and I guess I will see what comes about after this. I'm excited to pick something off my shelf and say, ooh, yeah, I want to start this one, because starting a project is always so much more fun than working on one day after day, week after week. And you know, it's like you're on a diet. So I've been on a diet with all of these stitches. I haven't been able to have my cheeseburger and my tacos. I've only been eating lettuce and tomato. And now that I'm not doing the year of finishes anymore and I can start something new, I'm gonna have my dang cheeseburger. All right. I will see you next time. Please subscribe below, as well as hit that little bell, and it will notify you whenever I post a video. I don't post a ton of videos. I only do maybe one a month, or even if that. And I will see you on the next one. If you'd like to follow me on Instagram, it is Stacy Noel CP on Instagram, and it's all of my crafting stuff, nothing personal on there, except for pictures of my late doggy, Kemper. All right, thank you so much for watching. See you on the flip side. Bye.